There was two parts of the project. There was Harry's Giant Pom Pom and the Charley Pom Poms. And the Charley Pom Poms are small, colour-coded 3-inch pom-poms that have been made by lots of different people in Charley. So up to now I've got 1,000 of those Charley Pom Poms. I had this vision that when the pom poms were finished, I could display them with the big white pom pom, and it would sort of give you an oversight as to who had made the pom poms. And they're all different shapes and sizes, reflecting the personality of the person that made them. You know, some people have put lots and lots of wool on and pull them really tight and fluffy, and others are just sort of small, like little spiders, if you will. But it's sort of a reflection of the person, in a way. It was in sort of vague age groups, and they could choose an age group. They didn't have to tell the truth. I said, you can lie if you want. If you want to pretend you're younger, well, you can. But if you could see lots and lots of pink ones, you knew there were little girls under 11 had made them, and lots of blue ones, little boys under 11, and so on and so on. So you could sort of pick out how many people had taken part. And it was easier for me to have broad age groups, but it made a multicoloured display at the end, and it looked nice. And it was just basically a way of engaging with people, you know, in the local community and getting them involved. A lot of people, funnily enough, don't know how to make a pom-pom. The older people do, but younger people don't. So I feel like I've actually taught people something, you know, going into schools. A lot of the school children have never made them before, and they really enjoyed it. Everybody that made a pom-pom, it was always the same reaction at the end. They can't understand how something flat can end up into this round ball. And at the end, when they actually cut it and pull it, and it turns into a ball, it's almost like magic. And everybody smiles. Everybody that makes a pom-pom smiles. And the older ones, it took them all back to when they were younger. And I remember, you know, all the memories were coming out. You heard lots of stories about, you know, when they made pom-poms when they were little, and we used to make them for the children, for the hats and da-da-da-da-da. So I'd like to think people did benefit, and I think just the fact that everybody sits down and it's like a social thing as well. You know, people are actually getting together and talking where they wouldn't, and you're sort of communicating with people that you never knew before, and I'd like to think that is a benefit to people. I mean, there's something warm and therapeutic about pom-poms, and people do enjoy making them. I'm a bit of a pom-pom freak, I suppose. I can't help it.
Hello, all I can do is pom-poms.
The one that sticks in my mind the most was we went to a nursing home, and we came out with just 3 pom-poms after 3 hours. The occasion itself was memorable because the old people really enjoyed it, and it was quite funny at times. And there was one particular lady who was sat in a wheelchair, and she was the oldest person to make a pom-pom for me. The youngest was 4, and the eldest, she was 99. And she never said anything. She just sat smiling all the time and just made this pom-pom. And when she'd finished, it was the most beautiful thing. It was absolutely perfect, and it was a real, you know, sort of chubby little pom-pom. It was really cute. And I took a photograph of her, and she's holding this pom-pom up and smiling. I went back to the nursing home to see if I could get permission to use this photograph for documentation. Anyway, it seems that she died. But they said that they really liked the photograph, and they said, well, we'll ask for permission. And they said, I'm sure the family will be delighted when they see that photograph, because it was probably one of the last things that she did. So she sat in the wheelchair with this little yellow pom-pom smiling, and she made it for me. So I'd say that was the most memorable. Yeah, I was pleased about that, really. You know, it brought her a little bit of happiness. Harry's Giant Pom Pom is a 14-stone giant pom-pom. When I made the first one, I actually had it on my knee on the floor, and I sort of turned it round. But towards the end, it got really heavy. And I knew I wouldn't be able to do the same again because it was much heavier. I had 2 IKEA tables that you could lower quite low down. So I put the 2 tables together on a slant so that I could sort of pull it round and wrap the wool round and move it. I had to wrap 40 balls of wool into one giant ball, so there was 40 strands and it became thicker, and then I'd push the ball down, and towards the end the hole goes smaller and smaller, and it was going deeper and deeper, so it just became such a physical thing. And I was using the hook it was my dad's walking stick. It came in really handy, and he would have loved that, actually, putting the wool in and pulling it with his walking stick, and it was just great. One of the things of getting a good pom-pom, a good full pom-pom, is to pull the wool really, really tight. So all the way through the months I'd been conscious of the tension, pulling as tight as I could possibly pull it, knowing that it would take longer because it's so intense, and when it was cut it would therefore, be fuller. And people actually said to me, it's never going to work. It is not going to work, because I don't think they understand the theory behind it and the magic of pom-poms. So on the day, it was well organised. There was strong men. We had a van, strong men that could carry the pom-pom into the van, take it down to the warehouse where it was being pulled. It was always planned that I would cut and my daughter would cut the wool. You have to cut round the edge, put the rope in, pull it, and then it springs into a pom-pom. And the cutting of the pom-pom actually took 2 full hours to cut it, and we had blisters. Our hands were just, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they were scarred. Every finger was scarred with scissors. Then we came to the pulling of the pom-pom, and it was 2 forklift trucks, and it got quite tense because the week previous I'd been going around looking at rope, and it had to be nylon rope, and obviously it had to be strong. So we went round B&Q and all these places looking at tow ropes and all different ropes, and decided to go for the cheaper ones, but it was a mistake because they snapped. I had to go running off to Halfords and buy 4 new big thick blue tow ropes, and eventually we did succeed in pulling the pom-pom with the blue tow ropes, but not without lots of very, very stressful moments in between. But I have to say, it took me another 2 hours to trim it, and another handful of blisters to get it, sort of absolutely perfect without making it smaller and smaller, which is what you tend to do if you keep chopping away at it. But I really don't think I could ever make a bigger one than Harry's Giant Pom Pom, because it was just so physically demanding. The last project I did before this was a synchronised dance in Victoria Baths. It was a specific 4-minute dance, and we had to practice and get it perfect. This one's been different. It's been me making something, but then trying to inspire other people to become involved and engage with the project on a community level. And I've realised that that's what I like. And bringing people together, I think, it's been valuable in that way, the project, because it sort of brought people together that would never have been together. But I have got a lot out of it, because, like I say, I wanted to make the perfect pom-pom, and I've done that. But I wouldn't say that was the main thing, because that was actually very hard work. It was really difficult. And I don't think I would like to do that again, because it really was hard. I suppose on the outset of this project, I was looking for not using art as therapy, but I needed something to sort of get my teeth into, and it was a challenge. But I would never want to do that again, because it was so hard work. The other side of it, the Charley pom-poms, that's been the bit that I've really enjoyed, and that's been, sort of getting everybody together to produce one particular, all working towards one aim, even though they were working individually. It was the whole that I was looking for, seeing the community on the floor, if you will, in multicolours, how each colour relates to a certain member of the community. And that was what I initially was hoping for, and I think it did. I'm hoping it worked. Yeah, I'm hoping it did. So I'd like to move on and do more things in that respect.